So I've already looked at a few of those Temu not Lego Gundam figures, and some were okay, some had issues. But then I saw more SD Lego Gundam figures that are not Lego. And we're going to start looking at the Asteroid Red Frame. And you can tell it's the Asteroid Red Frame. Yeah, the face looks dumb. It looks more like a Leo, or maybe the V8. And it's got a lot of black when the Red Frame just has black on the chest and the feet. But they tried. I mean, you can tell, at least from the front, it's the Red Frame. From the back, you're like a black frame, I guess. But no, it does look like the Red Frame in block form. Some parts, you know what? If you're going to buy these, and you're never going to take them apart, just glue them. If you have a problem with the piece, just glue it together. Who cares? That's what I say. But it does have good posability for what it is. I mean, you got a ball joint in the head. The shoulders, unfortunately, they can't move out. They can rotate, but the way this is designed, there's a big block here keeping it from doing the going out. Elbows are very tight and they work. You do have a wrist. You got 4 fingers, like, well, 3 fingers and a thumb. And I think they're like wrenches, Lego wrenches. So that's kind of cool. And then it does have a hinge in the stomach. Be careful. It's like 2 pieces holding it together for dear life. And it looks like, I think they just took a tire and made the stomach thicker. So, because without that, it'd be very, very thin. So they did think about that and like, yeah, we need to make it look a little bulky. So that's nice. And then the skirts can actually move separately. Nothing on the side, which does help the legs, which are ball joints, and they can go all the way out. And you've even got some nice knees. And very tight ankles. And I like that the bottom is flat. Nice flat-footed. Really does stand well. Now, it does have weapons. It has a katana, which I'm assuming is the Kubura Straight. And you got a little port here because you can actually store it on the side. Both legs have the peg here, but I usually put it on the left side. And I really like how you can actually hold it. You've got this extra piece they added to the hilt. And there's a little bit of extra nub sticking up where the thumb is. So you can just peg it in. And then wrap the fingers around it and it looks like it's being held. But it just be attached to the thumb. That's cool. That's a neat little idea. And they give you something else. I thought that'd be it. Because there's no backpack. They give you the tactical arms. Now, it doesn't transform. It doesn't have a backpack mode or a Gatling gun mode. It's just a Buster Sword. And I can never get it flush here. I've got this little double connectors that go through the end. But it like bends some. I can't get it flat. So it always kind of sticks up there. It annoys me slightly. But it looks good, all in all. And it still has like a kind of a way to connect it to the hand the same way. But these connectors are not the same as what's on that sword. So it doesn't really do a very good job. Like, it goes in, but doesn't stay. And it's super big and heavy. So it's not going to actually hold very well. Thankfully, you can just put it on the backpack. So at least it's still attached. And it does look cool to have it on the back. Very Cloud with his Buster Sword. Yeah, I like the Red Frame, but it's not the best. I personally think the best one would be the Exia I'm assuming it's the same company. Right off the bat, it looks better because the head actually looks like a head. It has like the eye sort of, or a visor at least. It has the mouth and it has the chin even. So they tried. They included the condensers on the head, and in the chest you got the little fins. I think they're like communication fins. I don't know what those are. Never really thought about it. You even got the GN drive in the back. So it's definitely better looking, I think. And kind of better posability here and there. Head's good. You can actually move the arms out because there's an extra joint. So it can move out. And then the elbows and the wrist can move. It's tight on this one, but you can rotate it. The fingers are the same. Instead of a hinge in the stomach, it's actually a rotation this time. I don't know if it's better or not, because this one's a lot more, like, this one's not coming out, where the Red Frame, if you're not careful, it'll just come apart. So I guess that's probably better here. Skirts can move, easy to move on the back, but they're very tight on the front. And then the hips, those are good. But I find these parts here in the thigh, they separate really easily because it's a tight thigh and a pretty tight knee. And then the feet are also pretty tight, which of course is good. And they look nice. I like the different colors on the feet. It's about the same, if not a little better than the Red Frame. And it actually comes with more accessories than the red frame. You got kind of a basic shield, and I just usually peg it all the way down on the arm, just so it doesn't hit the shoulder. Makes it a little easier. You got a Gean sword, which works like a Gean sword. So you've got the sword, and you got the beam rifle. And the easiest way I find to connect it, because it connects like the shield, so I just peg it into the arm first. Get those fingers tucked in. And then you can use this part, and just it connects everything together. It connects the arm and the gun. So it's pretty nice having both the shield and the sword. That's okay, I think, but like I said, you actually get more than the red frame. You get the long and short swords, but they're just the same length. I'm not really surprised they didn't try and make one shorter than the other. Well, I can forgive that. And they included the little port so you can mount it instead of having it in the hands. A little back here, you got a little sticky out bit that's a little longer and just enough to connect the swords. Granted, they kind of go up into the armpit, so you can't really rotate the waist anymore once you have both on. It's kind of like keeps it from moving. Although mine's a little loose in the waist, so that's actually a good thing. And it goes into the hand just like the katana from the red frame. Plug it in like that. And technically, I'll just flip this back. I can have everything on. Just get that in there. Actually, I guess I have to have the blade out some. Yeah, so you can have everything displayed. That's kind of cool. I really like that. Definitely my favorite. And now we come to what might have been my favorite if it wasn't so bad. And I just finished building it because I just got in the mail yesterday. And that is the Barbatos Lupus Rex, who is considerably bigger than the other two, which is accurate because it's got the big, thick, chunky legs and feet. So it makes sense. And I love the head, like that massive V fin. You can't even see. It's so big. Look, you can't see. No way. They included the chin. They included the tail, which has multiple hinges. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it would just be a static piece, but you can move it around. It should have another part right here, but they didn't give it to me. They gave me a part that connects the other way, so the little peg is on this side, so I can't connect it. I guess I could glue it, but you're going to notice it's missing an arm. That's because they also didn't include these socket connections. You have one on the lower arm, you have one here and one here, so you can connect it to the arm and the hand. And unfortunately, they gave me two of these with hinges, so I can't connect the hand or the arm together, which really bums me out because this thing looks so cool. And it's funny, the hands are made differently. I was wondering why, because like they work like this one works like the other ones. It's got the hinges, and different fingers actually. I think this is the ones from the bigger, not Lego figures, but they work well because Barbatos Lupus Rex has big hands. But this one has a port so that you can connect the crazy size mace. Like this thing is huge and heavy, and it essentially you take the end off and you feed it through. I can't. This is the big problem with this set. These bars are either too thick or too thin. So if I was going to feed this all the way through, I know I can only get it about that far without forcing a lot, so it's either going to snap the bar or it's going to get stuck in here and then it'll snap if I try to get it out. So I'd have to either make these holes bigger or shave this down to get it to work. And that's the problem with some of the joints. So let's go over them. First off, the head doesn't move at all. It is pegged in place. Why they didn't include a neck joint, I don't know. They easily could have. There's a lot of space here. Shoulders are decent. It's got actually double ball joints here in the elbow, so you can kind of move it out and up. So that's kind of neat. Both of the wrists are ball jointed, and this is another problem because it's a bar that goes in there. So I'd have to glue it. Even if I could get this mace in there, it'd just be like drooping on the table. So I'd have to glue that in place so it doesn't rotate anymore. It has a ball joint in the waist, which is actually the best version of all the other ones. The other one's a hinge, a swivel, but this one can technically do both. Not a whole bunch, but it can. It's even got side skirts that are ball jointed. The other ones don't have skirts at all. Granted, actually it doesn't have any at all, but Red Frame should. So it's nice that they include that. The skirts move. The hips, they're ball jointed. The knees are double hinged, but the problem is the top hinge, the red bar fits nicely. The bottom hinge, no, it does not on either one. They are both the same. And it's kind of okay, because if you keep the problem is the weight distribution. If you keep the arms forward, it can't fall back because the weight seems to help. And it can only fall backwards. It can't fall forwards because these knees are so big that they just hit the joints and they stop it. They're really nice thick legs. And the ball jointed ankles are really good too. I had to glue this. I had to glue a couple things here because if I don't like to do that. I like to leave it as it is just so you can see what you're getting. But I had to glue the foot here, the front of it. It wouldn't stay, but it doesn't articulate anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I had to glue a couple parts on the arms and some of the legs, like up here, because it just wouldn't stay together. It doesn't affect the posability. It's less exploding. So I actually would have really liked this, because I can kind of forgive the loose knee hinge because, like I said, it can't topple forward, which means I just have to keep the arms forward to distribute the weight properly if I had both arms attached. That's my biggest problem. You don't guarantee having a set on it in Temu, right? I mean, you're just taking your chances. Thankfully, I did contact them, and in a minute I got a refund. I don't know if I want to get it again, or maybe I can modify this and glue it together. I don't really know. I mean, I can try. Maybe if I cut this and just glue it in, and then it'll look okay, because I do like it. I really do. I think it looks great for what it is. But as of right now, I'd have to give the winning SD not Lego set to the exia, and then the next one would have to be the Astray Red Frame. There's also a Dom, and I'm hesitant to get it because it looks cool, but I kind of got soured off with the barbatos, so maybe I will, maybe I won't. I have extra credit. It's actually quite a bit. It's like $40 Canadian. These were all like 20 some. I think he was 30 actually. Barbatos is like 34 because he's big, which makes sense. But yeah, they kind of look right together, don't they? I mean, height-wise, because Barbatos is a big boy. I think the Red Frame and Exia should be about the same size. Exia is kind of small, but these are kind of neat just to build. They're novelty. That's what they are.